And for the first time in history, WNBA games will be played in the United Center. The Chicago Sky will host the Indiana Fever at the UC on Saturday, June 7th, and on Sunday, July 27th. The highly anticipated games will feature Fever star Caitlin Clark against the Sky's very own Angel Reese. The largest attendance at a Sky game ever happened in 2016 at Allstate Arena with more than 16,000 fans, while the United Center can fit more than 20,000, so more fans can get in on the action. Tickets go on sale on March.
The Chicago Sky just sent a strong message about the growing popularity of women's basketball. While Angel Reese insists the sport isn't about just one player, the Sky made history by moving their game against the Indiana Fever to the iconic United Center, home of the Chicago Bulls. This isn't just a simple venue change, it's a sign of how much the game is evolving.
Martin looking. Here's Clark. She fires. And goal! Wow!
And the reason? Caitlin Clark, no one else. Not Angel Reese, not any other player. This isn't just a subtle hint, it's a massive, flashing sign for the entire WNBA. Clark is the biggest draw in the league, and even teams that downplay her impact are profiting from her star power.
And they're going to get the ball up in time. 40 piece.
But here's where it gets interesting. Before Caitlin Clark, the WNBA struggled to fill arenas, let alone make bold, headline-grabbing moves like this. Her impact is undeniable, and the league is feeling the difference.
Platforms on Tuesday night, making it the most watched WNBA game on ESPN Network since the WNBA debut of the Phoenix Mercury star, Diana Taurasi. Passing Diana Taurasi, what a way to start the season.
Well, I mean, listen, this girl is a...
Now, entire franchises are reshaping their business strategies because of her. Angel Reese and her camp might not want to hear it, but the reality is clear. Caitlin Clark is the game changer, and the Chicago Sky just proved it. Get ready, because we're diving into the controversy that's shaking up the basketball world. Before we jump in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're bringing you the hottest stories with high-energy analysis you won't get anywhere else. Let's be real, the Chicago Sky's decision to move their game against Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever to the United Center wasn't just about business. It was a statement. This is the first WNBA game ever played in that legendary arena, and it's happening for one reason: Clark's star power. Angel Reese has been pushing the idea that she and other players deserve just as much credit for the league's growth. But if that were true, why hasn't Chicago made a move like this for anyone else?
The Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airways of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. Let me get to some sports items. That's my wheelhouse. I got a few things on my mind, actually. I didn't mention it in my cold open, but I'm going to mention it now, and that's Caitlin Clark herself of the WNBA. Let's get to the WNBA and this sensational rookie from the Indiana Fever who continues to be box office. Clark and the Fever currently lead the WNBA in average game attendance and per game TV viewership. But despite the attendance and viewership records, there seems to be some haterade in the league in regards to Clark, starting with WNBA legend Cheryl Swoops.
This isn't just about selling a few extra tickets, it's about doubling the stadium capacity to keep up with the overwhelming demand for Caitlin Clark games. The WNBA has had elite talent for years, but no single player has ever generated this kind of excitement. Clark is on a different level, and the league knows it. If Reese's claims were true, Chicago would be making these moves for other matchups too, but they're not. This is Caitlin Clark's world, and everyone else is just playing in it.
Has WNBA changed just because of one player?
Let's talk numbers. Before Caitlin Clark, WNBA attendance averaged around 6,600 per game. Now, arenas are packed, and viewership is breaking records. When Clark steps on the court, it's more than just a game, it's an event. The United Center move is just the latest proof that the WNBA is riding the Caitlin Clark wave, whether they want to admit it or not.
need to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too. And I want y'all to realize that. But
Before Caitlin Clark joined the league, WNBA games struggled to break into the mainstream. Sure, there was a loyal fan base, but let's be honest, most games barely made an impact beyond hardcore followers.
Average attendance of WNBA games not involving Caitlin Clark is 8,490. So games that Caitlin Clark plays are averaging 85% more than non-Caitlin Clark games. Just throwing that out there. You need to know. You need to understand these are the kind of things that comes with it.
Matchups were competitive, but they lacked that must-watch factor. Many arenas were half empty, TV ratings were stagnant, and media coverage was minimal. Now, everything has changed, and at the center of it all is one name, Caitlin Clark. Clark's arrival wasn't just big, it was a game-changing cultural shift. Attendance skyrocketed almost overnight, merchandise sales exploded, networks rushed to secure WNBA broadcasting rights, and ticket prices soared to unprecedented levels.
If I had transferred earlier in my career, I wouldn't be having the time of my life.
And here's the kicker, entire teams started changing their business strategies just to capitalize on her presence. Angel Reese might say that no one player defines the league, but the numbers tell a different story.
Has really taken upon her shoulders to be more aggressive offensively to trade, and Caitlin Clark for three rattled.
Recently being the first WNBA player that has recorded consecutive 20-plus.
Reese, in fact, that leg tips it away and off and running. Caitlin Clark wins the pass.
Take Indiana's opening game against the New York Liberty as Exhibit A. Over 17,000 fans packed Gainbridge Fieldhouse, creating an atmosphere usually reserved for NBA playoffs or major concerts. The energy was electric. This wasn't just a coincidence, it was the Caitlin Clark effect in action. She's not just growing the game, she's revolutionizing it.
Well, Drea, you don't have to wait any longer. The pick is in. Time to get things back to the podium. Here is the commissioner, Kathy Engelberg.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
Still skeptical about Clark's influence? Let's look at two teams that literally changed their venues to capitalize on her arrival. The Atlanta Dream, instead of playing at their usual Gateway Center arena, moved their matchups against the Indiana Fever to State Farm Arena, the home of the Atlanta Hawks. That's a bold start to the season.
Golden Doodle. That's golden.
Meanwhile, the Washington Mystics didn't hesitate to move their games to Capital One Arena, where the Wizards play. Bigger venues, more seats, more money, it's clear that the demand for Clark's games is pushing teams to think bigger.
Linnea Maru are your officials here today. She's up there with rebounds, up there with steals. And she'll take the first three.
What do both of these moves have in common? They happened because of Caitlin Clark.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
Well, Caitlin Clark hugging her family, her brothers, Blake and Colin, her father Brent, her mother Ann, and heading.
Let's be real, These venue changes aren't happening because of Angel Reese, AJA Wilson, Breanna Stewart, or even legends like Diana Taurasi. They're happening for one reason: Caitlin Clark fills arenas, period.
Start to the season in terms of scheduling. Yes, they are ready. And they have fresh legs coming in here to DC.
As the Fever get the jump, and the first bucket is down by... There's Van Loo. Getting Edwards on the move. Got it deep.
The defense would definitely be at the top of the list.
Wallace in the corner gets that to go.
Colson sticks.
Here's Boston off the pick and roll. Little hesitation, gets that off.
We can debate all day about who should be the face of the league, but money doesn't lie. The WNBA is, at the end of the day, a business, and businesses follow the money. Right now, every financial trend, every sponsorship deal, and every packed arena points back to one undeniable force: Caitlin Clark. Despite all of this, Angel Reese isn't backing down. In a viral interview, she confidently pushed back against the narrative, insisting that the WNBA's surge isn't just about Caitlin Clark.
I need to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because...
Reese argued that players like herself deserve just as much credit for the league's rise. That sounds good on paper, but let's talk facts. If Reese's claim were true, why isn't Chicago expanding its arena for her games? Why aren't ticket prices doubling for Sky matchups that don't feature Clark?
I need to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Look, I be riding through.
WNBA has been around for well over 2 decades now, but never in its storied history has it ever generated even a third of the 2024 season. Yes, you heard that right. And in case you're wondering what the figures are, well, a whopping rise to an unbelievable 1.4 million average viewers in 2024 tells a tale of a long overdue exposure erupted into the scenes. And why is everybody clamoring to get a peep of the action? Well, I have 2 words for you.
It's almost laughable at this point. Reese is out here saying it's not just about one player, while the entire league's marketing, ticket sales, and media coverage clearly say otherwise. If Chicago truly believed in her star power alone, they'd be making major adjustments for their own games, not just when Caitlin Clark is in town. But here's the thing, this isn't about fairness, it's about demand. And right now, Caitlin Clark is the demand. The more Reese and others try to downplay her impact, the more they look out of touch with reality.
No make for Clark! The Indiana Fever. They make sure of Caitlin when she gives the ball up.
Well, the Fever on a 15-2 extended run from the end of the first. Fagbenle with a huge block. An absolute wall.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft.
It seems like you'd like to insert a link, but I can't directly add links. However, I can help craft the text so it flows smoothly if you want to include a link yourself. Here's the revised version. Clark's presence has turned the WNBA into appointment television. Whether her critics admit it or not, she's the driving force behind the biggest boom the league has ever seen. Let me know if you'd like further changes.
We're so fired up about the draft last night.
WNBA.
Got in the car with Eddie, you know what he said? I watched the draft last night.
Yeah, totally.
This is what people are talking
about. Wait, and we should just say, Eddie drives you to... People thought he was your boyfriend for a minute. No, they did. And I saw him yesterday, and I was like, what up, Eddie? And he was like, can you believe it? Eddie, you love him.
I love Eddie dearly.
You've worked with him for many years.
Many years, yes. I call him my Eddie.
He's your Eddie, but that doesn't mean he's your romantic Eddie.
No,
so we should just, any of y'all that thought that she had found the one.
When did that start happening? Like, when was the first time you started to sort of feel the recognition of like people when you're walking around?
Honestly, the start of the season. I feel like people...
Experts, novices, fans just furious today. So is it fair, Jamel, to compare the NBA and the WNBA? Just look at the television rights. The NBA makes $2.7 billion a year, while the WNBA so far only makes $60 million a year. And this is a business that dictates pay.
No, it is totally unfair because I think that people, by the way, welcome people who are just now tuning into this conversation about pay disparity, which, by the way, the women in this league have been having for years now. understand that you have to throw the NBA comparison out the window. The NBA had a 50-year head start. If you just absolutely insist on comparing the two leagues, why don't you compare them at the same stage? The WNBA is 27 years in. Go back and look at where the NBA was at 27 years in.